Today I am giving my lecture on the topic women's condition and status in India. So I will start my topic with the history of India. If we look back just after the Indus Valley civilization, when the Vedic era starts, the early Vedic era and the later Vedic era. In the early Vedic era, we can see that the condition of women was very prominent in the society. They were allowed to attend and join the Sabha and committee and also to participate in the law-making sector. And also, there were no child marriage, there was no polygamy. But what happened after the early Vedic era? In the later Vedic era, we can see the women, they have lost their prominence, they have lost their existence, to be honest, because in the Savan committee, they were not allowed to enter. The child marriage became very common, the polygamy became very common. Now, what can be noticed here? When the people were not very much educated, when the resources were not there, they treat everyone like equal. But when the king become powerful, they start taking so much taxes from the people, they start making their own territory, they start having their own army, and the people start getting educated, doing the agriculture work more better. They start discriminating between the female and the male. Now coming and also in our history we can see the Satavahanas, where the prominent leader Gautami Satakani was one of the brave female leader who fought with the Shakas, the Scythians, the Western satraps, and they defeated her. Now coming to the present scenario, if I look at right now, the government is doing a very good initiative in all the sectors, in both in rural and urban areas, where they are providing different types of schemes like the self-help groups, where the different females from the rural or the urban areas, they are gathering together, they're opening their small business, and the government is supporting them. Now coming to another initiative is the government is giving the mudra loans to the females so that they can start their own small business. Now also the MSME, which is same for the both male and female. Now coming to the She-Mart, where government is giving them loans so that they can open their small shop or take a shop on rent and start their own business and get independent. The problem with India right now is, if I see into the rural place, more than 70% of the land is still owned by the men, and only now I will the man fight start from the day since he was born and the day he died. But if I add the woman's journey here, I think the woman's journey is more difficult. Either they will not born because of the female feticide. If they are born, they will have the same discrimination with their own brother in the house. If she pass on the discrimination, she will have the discrimination in the studies, in the schools. They will have the high dropout. And in the last, I just want to give an example of our own one of the neighboring countries on the right side, that is Japan. It has the first female Prime Minister, Sanai Takaishi. She was the first female Prime Minister of Japan, and she is so powerful that she is directly countering the China and supporting Taiwan. And she recently did the snap election just to prove that she is still relevant and the people of Japan are still choosing them. At last, I want to conclude my lecture by saying, if only men will participate and do the in the law-making sectors or in the higher sectors, India can become strong. But if the both female and male participate, then India will definitely become strong and develop.